In the words of Eddie Murphy, if Jimmy Walker fucking, I'm fucking everybody.
Bless you.
I ain't trying to die on air again.
Apparently.
Run over there and give her the Heimlich.
Well, by the time I get there, she'd be toast.
Call an ambulance.
I'd be like, Officer, what's his name?
Oh.
You good?
Yeah.
Guess that's no.
Breathing is fundamental.
Oh, wow, that was terrible.
Yeah, I was worried about you.
Well, you should have been. For at least 10 seconds. Jesus. Whew.
Woo.
All right. Y'all ready? Star?
Yeah, I'm alive.
Star.
Batter up.
You need a minute?
Right, because you don't sound like you got it just yet.
Whew. I'm okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad. But anyway, welcome to the threesome, y'all. This is the podcast where the three of us try to talk about at least 3 topics each week. And the 3 of us are our point person and optimistic realist who may actually survive tonight, Star.
Batter up.
And the center of our threesome and our voice of reason, ready to render CPR when called, is Magic.
Best rapper alive. Everybody else can claim it with no merit. I mean,
And then bringing up the rear is me, Storm, and I identify as the pragmatic contrarian.
we back, bitches.
Yeah.
Let's address this first.
Okay.
You will not be referring to my temporary coughing incident as a threat to my survival.
I said
We
you
be
might
concerned.
survive the episode. Yeah, I'll be worried about you. Because you sounded like you couldn't breathe.
I had a moment. It passed.
Okay.
And we're glad.
Well, damn.
I appreciate your concern, though.
Well, I said Magic was standing by to render first aid or CPR.
You the
And
closest.
if I, from where he's at, I'll be dead.
The fuck did I turn into Nightcrawler?
Well, I mean, you wanted to be dark. Anyway. So, what are we talking about this week? Who wants to go first?
Go first, Magic.
Filth, flarm, filth. Okay.
Sure.
Every week.
As always, it's either music or sex on my mind. So I was driving today for 5 hours listening to all kinds of randomness and thinking about what's the greatest concerts we've been to.
Off the top of my head, every Prince concert I've ever been to has been memorable.
How many have you been to?
4.
So jealous.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anybody 4 times.
Yeah, well, I started early with Prince. The last time I saw him, I actually hadn't meant to see him, but my friend Dell, who was a guest on the podcast, was supposed to go see him with her brother. But there was some kind of mix-up with her travel arrangements, so she ended up not being in town during the concert, so she asked me if I would go with him instead. So that's when I saw him the 4th time.
That is a good
Always
friend.
memorable. Yes.
Jealous.
What about you, Star?
Hold on. You ain't gonna give any details? Like, why is Prince that shit live?
Because he goes all out, like, very engaged with the audience. He played his old shit and the new shit. He played all the instruments and did all the dancing. I mean, yeah, great concert. All of them. I can't explain why he's that shit. He just was that shit.
No, I've heard.
It's just an experience.
Yeah.
Watching him perform on TV is one thing, but watching him live, especially if you're up close, because I was fortunate enough during the Purple Rain concert tour, we got what they called the Purple Circle tickets. So we were like 3 rows away from him. And
Purple
let me
Circle
tell
sounds
you,
very interesting yet creepy.
well, it's Prince.
Yeah.
And yeah, let me tell you, that concert was life changing because I was so close to him and just seeing the musicianship and the attention to detail that you don't really think about until you're right there. Another concert that I liked was New Edition
Mm.
without Bobby Brown. The last time I saw New Edition was without Bobby Brown.
Oh no, not Bobby. You gotta have Bobby. He's there for the comic relief.
He wasn't going to contribute anything to the performance, but sitting on the end of the stage,
You
out of
gonna
breath.
stop disrespecting the king of R&B?
Listen, I like Bobby, but I'm just saying, in recent years, he's not trying to do the choreography like the rest of
And
them.
it's freaking hilarious.
It
I
is
saw him the
hilarious.
year before last. He was doing a little bit. He wasn't all in.
He'll do a
He'll do a
couple of
couple
notes,
steps.
and then he went sat on the end of the stage, and like he had to catch his breath. So don't get me wrong,
I
he's
love it.
hilarious. But the last time I saw them, he was not touring with them. And they gave a great concert. They sang all the hits and they did all the choreography. And it was just a great concert. It was just like a party with friends, is what it felt like.
Yeah.
Right.
Because everybody in the audience, except the ones that brought their little kids, all the adults were doing all the choreography right along with them. And the kids were looking around like, these old people are crazy.
Don't
I
know.
saw Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike a couple years ago, which I really didn't want to go because I'm like, what's really happening without Ralph and Johnny? But they put on a good show.
Oh,
I can't front on them. And
okay.
even Ronnie was singing every now and then. Mike, not so much. I think he tried a little bit at the end.
I'd love to see Ronnie DeVoe dance.
Yeah. He is a dancing fool.
I will say he was the only one in shape out the four.
Last time I saw them was maybe 10 years ago. Bobby wasn't there, but they were all in shape because they danced the whole time.
You know what bugged me out? Babyface was opening for them.
Oh, well,
I
then
thought
you
that
had the
was
better
odd.
experience because I had Casey and JoJo opening for them,
Oh, God.
which was hilarious in its own right because Casey was clearly high. Clearly.
His whole career.
Right.
It was like saying Mick Jagger was a little toasty.
He's also disturbingly tiny.
But Prince wasn't?
Everybody knew Prince was tiny.
Something about Casey, I don't know. He was just disturbingly tiny. I was just like, why? At one point, he climbed on his bodyguard's shoulders and was riding the man up and down the aisles.
Wow.
It was an experience.
So let me put a note in about Babyface. There was a concert here a couple of years ago. It was Babyface, Jill Scott, and New Edition. Babyface was the opener. Speaking of disturbing, Detroit was giving him so much love. He was up there having the time of his life. It was clear that he was feeling that energy from the crowd. So he breaks out, jumps off the stage, and takes his shirt off and runs
Oh, Lord.
through the whole crowd.
He did that when I saw him, and he ain't in shape either.
Even when he was, in his prime, I didn't want
He
to see
should
him
have
with
kept
his
his
shirt
shirt
off.
on, right?
Right. He could have gotten away with it then because that was the bird chest era. You remember all the little bird chesters used to have their shirts
Unlike
open.
now,
Yeah. Yes,
I don't be paying attention to them now.
I be laughing at them now. Like, you just gonna get tattoos to cover up the fact you ain't gonna hit the gym. All right, I see you.
I used to laugh at them then because I was like, "Why y'all showing all these bird chests?" Like that's a
That's
thing.
air.
Oh, pause
Yeah.
me even participating in that part. But yeah, you
Yeah,
know
that
who
was
bugged me
disturbing.
out, and I've seen him twice. Drew Hill is better live than they are on record.
And I bet,
Yeah, I can see that.
especially with Cisco,
Yeah, and they're good on record, but live, I was just blown away. Like, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Monica's ill. Monica is fucking fantastic.
yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to leave rappers out. Red and Meth are great.
I've had a couple of great concerts. I've only seen Prince twice, I'm ashamed to say. Big a fan as I am, but that's not my fault because it's not for lack of trying.
Right.
The two concerts that I went to his were very memorable. He is the consummate showman. He has an imagination that's just out of this world. And besides being a superb musician, he gets very in tune with the crowd.
It's a connection that he has.
Yeah.
Light skin power.
He's not there just to play some songs and be done with it. No, he's very interactive.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's there to entertain for sure. That's definitely the top of my list. Now, anybody who really knows me would probably be surprised at the best concert I've seen in my life. I am not a Michael Jackson hater. I'm just not a fan. I
Right.
enjoy some of his music or whatever, but I think my grandmother really kind of turned me away from him inadvertently because she didn't like the fact that I love Prince so much.
Yo, there was serious Prince Michael Jackson beef back in the days.
There was.
She tried to influence me to a cleaner, more wholesome entertainer. But so she bought me the beaded jacket and the thriller jacket. That thing probably still at her house. But anyway, she took me to the Victory Tour. And
hmm
I wasn't all that excited about going, but okay, whatever. I don't remember what age I was, but I was a very early teen. When I tell you that to this date is the best freaking concert I have ever been to in my life. Yeah, that was freaking awesome. I can't even describe it in any other way than it was an experience.
But you didn't faint.
Oh no.
Real G's ain't fainting.
Yeah, that used to annoy me when I used to see his concert videos and these people would just be fainting dead out. I'm like, you paid all that money to be unconscious?
To be sleep.
I never understood that. I
People do it
don't
with
get
weed
it.
every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the best concert ever. One more note on Prince though. Oh my God. I would have literally fought somebody to have been at that Super Bowl performance. Oh, golly.
Yeah, that was one of the greatest.
Yeah, I was not independently wealthy, so I couldn't help you with that.
Man,
Oh, my life.
trust me, regular season tickets is too damn much.
Yeah.
I was into football then, but I didn't even give a damn about the get that. Oh, him out there playing in the rain, and oh, I would have just loved it. So anyway,
Right.
I went to see MC Hammer, LL Cool J.
Okay, that makes up for it.
I would have gone to see
Which is
MC
funny because
Hammer
the two of them was at each other's throats on records, but yeah.
Yeah,
just to see him dance. It would have been fun to me.
Nah, they would have had to drag me kicking and screaming.
I wouldn't have had to listen to a word he said, but if they'd have just dimmed the microphone and let him dance, I would have been just fine.
yeah. I actually liked Hammer during that time, so it was before I thought he was a cornball.
That star.
It was MC Hammer, LL Cool J, Run DMC, and I'm missing somebody. But anyway, man, that was a great concert. I'll say that probably was the most flat out fun I've had at a concert. The crowd going nuts, dancing and screaming. There's not been too many concerts that I came out of and didn't have a voice, but that was definitely one of them.
What is the most surprising concert that people wouldn't think you would have ever gone to?
Me, Kanye West, easy. And as much as I'm not into his music, his stage show is fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
I did some shit opening for them, but it was Kanye, Rihanna, Ill, NERD, and Lupe Fiasco.
Okay.
All four of which I never listened to, but I gotta say Lupe was way better than I thought he was. Kanye's
Yeah.
stage show phenomenal. I still don't really care for his music. Rihanna, yeah. And NERD put on a show, but this was in Virginia Beach, so they was loving it.
Oh my goodness, the Rihanna hate that's coming from over there.
It's not a hate. That shit can't sing. Why are we fronting?
Okay. I
Don't
mean,
do Riri.
I'll give her hit songs. I'll give her great business acumen. She cannot fucking sing.
okay.
She can't sing, no, but she's talented and
Sure.
she entertains.
She's smart.
She's very smart.
What about you, Star? What's a concert you've been to that people who don't know you as well as I do would probably be like, really?
Oh, corn. And I lost it. God. It's a great concert. That was an awesome freaking concert as well. The Stones.
Are the Rolling Stones good live?
They're not.
Not anymore.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, if I had
The
saw them
drugs
maybe
gotta kick
20,
in
30
at some
years
point.
ago.
I remember like back in the 80s they gave a really good show.
Yeah, Aerosmith. Leontine Price was really good.
Hmm.
Oh, Marilyn Manson. Ha.
Oh yeah.
I would
Yeah,
have loved
see.
to see him when he was popping. Well,
I
then.
wouldn't have.
No, he got joints I like. I still rock Beautiful People every now and then.
But I don't know that I would have wanted to be at the concert. I would have been concerned.
I was one of them knuckleheads that was in the club slam dancing during R&B joints.
Yeah. I knew that I did not want to be on the floor. I
Okay. Yeah.
knew I wanted to be in the seats with him. Great visual.
I'd imagine.
Okay.
Oh, and Limp Bizkit. That was awesome too. And I was on the floor.
Word?
I was down there like a nut with them. It was fun. I'm a low-key rocker chick.
I got to put out two of my favorites. Funkadelic, because I'm from Plainfield, New Jersey, and that's where the band came from. George Clinton and them was
Okay.
doo-wop singers before they ran into the band. Still love that's Uncle George, but no, he ran out of breath in the first song.
Was he just standing still singing? Because I can't
Most of the
imagine
concert, he was sitting down, nodding his head, but the band
sitting down.
fucking
Okay.
loved it.
Yeah.
And the Wailers, I saw maybe 12
I'm
years
so
ago.
jealous. I thought you were going to tell me you saw him with Bob, and I'm like,
No, the funny thing is, I think his name is Nile Rodgers, the dude that used to play bass.
yeah.
He's doing the singing for most of it. He sings better than Bob. And that's the only concert I remember going to where there were people my grandparents' age and little kids really sitting on their parents' shoulders and everybody's rocking. That shit was just a
Yeah.
sight to see.
Hmm.
Oh, in
But-
the vein of Prince, the first concert I ever went to was Morris Day. Morris is a wild dude.
And you put on a great concert too.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was in elementary school, but that was a show.
Mm-hmm.
All
They
of them
definitely
from
put
that
on a
James
show.
Brown vein of entertainment.
Right.
And as an honorable mention, Madonna put on a hell of a concert.
Yeah, I saw Madonna back in, I want to say 87.
Okay.
But back when she
She
was
super
really
huge
popping.
at that point. Dry humping Spanish statues and shit.
I'll have to send you the picture that I took of her that she had on her website for about 6 months of her acting like she was getting ready to stick a mic down her pants.
Fascinating. But anyway, we can talk about music all night, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
We done drug on a little bit.
I think we need to talk a little bit about reparations, don't we, Star?
Reparations has been a conversation off and on more than a century, even. But Illinois has taken a pretty good step toward what a program should or may look like if it was established nationally. They are using their city's weed sales tax for reparations. It's like $10 million over 10 years. They're going to put a STEM school in the fifth ward,
Hmm.
which will make a better education accessible for the children there.
Where in Illinois is this? Just for clarity.
Oh, Evanston.
I've never been to Evanston, so I don't know about their fifth ward, but if it's anything like the fifth ward in Houston, then good for them.
Few things are.
This is true.
Well, $10 million over 10 years. I mean, that's not a lot. That's $1 million a year. Come on. They're also providing housing grants. Some of the descendants of slaves are going to be able to apply for like $25,000 grants to purchase homes and things like that.
It centers around the whole debate about reparations.
Absolutely. I agree.
Because what they will say is, why do you get reparations? You weren't a slave.
Because it's owed.
It's the after effects of all the shit that happened.
Not only is it owed, but I was affected generationally by it
Right.
because my family was stripped of the wealth they would have otherwise accrued. Whereas y'all's families were sitting there accruing wealth on the backs of my
Well,
family.
our families.
Yes.
Exactly.
So this whole argument about, well, it wasn't us and slavery was X amount of generations ago.
Number one, because it's owed. They promised us our 40 acres and we never got it, nor the mule.
Well, they didn't promise it to us. They promised it to
To
them.
the soldiers.
Our families.
But the fact is that it's a generational thing.
Absolutely.
It has affected both parties. And
Yeah.
that is why you can't distance yourself from what happened then. Which is what they try
I
to
get
do.
it.
I'm not saying that they should feel guilty or they should pay some kind of penalty, but I'm saying they still have to acknowledge that they got a leg up on the backs of our ancestors.
Well, absolutely. Especially if you're one of the families who were able to establish a great amount of wealth based off the backs of our families, especially any of the families that own banks in some of these smaller towns, like Evanston, Illinois. If I'm not mistaken, there is a wealthy family that had a vacuum business that was very big for a long time. They made enough money to where their grandkids
Right.
will be benefiting off of that. And you never know what type of generational wealth that our families could have passed down to us had they been given what was promised to them.
Yeah.
Correct.
With the whole reparations thing, I'm of the realization that you can't just hand a check to every black person,
No.
especially considering the amount of mixed children. Hell, I'm light skinned. I'd have to admit I get a discount or something, and I got nieces and nephews who, if they didn't tell you they was black, you would never know. So you can't directly hand people a check, but I like that people are being creative. It's not that hard to track who directly came up off the backs of slaves. JP Morgan's one of the huge ones I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Go to them, be
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, y'all got to figure out some shit, offer some
Mm-hmm.
housing, college loans, something.
Yeah.
You're correct. You cannot cut a check.
And not just housing loans or student loans. Y'all need to have extremely low interest on them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Because else you're just rewarding them again.
Yeah, you're just giving them back the money in the long run.
Yeah.
That's part of where I was headed. And you made me forget my thought. Never mind. Continue.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
because
that
you're
effect on
old.
women. It's okay.
Oh.
But yeah, the program is not.
It's not flawless, but
It's not.
it's a
Yeah, it's
step in
not
the right
perfect,
direction.
but it is definitely a step in the right direction. You can't just cut a check and hope folks do the right thing with it.
You can, but that would be silly.
Asinine, actually.
Y'all
I mean,
can.
some of these stimulus checks are proof positive of that.
Oh yeah,
They're much smaller than a $25,000 check. At least even the playing field a little bit.
Right.
yeah. In the
Well,
end, whoever grinds the hardest is still gonna win, but at least
yeah,
let everybody start
Well,
at the same point.
that's
yeah,
also not true,
exactly.
but you know, I
What's
mean,
not true?
sure. There's a significant amount of luck that is
Oh
inherent
well,
in
yeah.
any equation.
Luck favors the well prepared.
People in this country have this wild idea that if you're rich, it's because you hustle hard. And that's just not always the truth.
There's always a lot of luck involved because there's a whole bunch of people that got rich being smart and fucked it up being not that smart.
Or that if you're poor, it's because you don't hustle hard enough. And that's not necessarily the case either. There's a lot of luck and happenstance that goes on both sides. But anyway, that is definitely a step in the right direction. Let's just see how quickly they get sued about it. Because you know the white folks are not going to put up with this for long. Which is always funny to me.
On what grounds, though?
They're going to say that it's, what's the term they like to use? Reverse discrimination.
Absolutely not.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be some
Whether or
butthurt
not it's
white folks
effective,
about
I
it.
highly doubt.
That's mainly either very ignorant people or folks who are gatekeepers and like to keep things exactly how they are.
Whenever they don't have an advantage, they feel like they're being trod upon.
Yeah, it's
So,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Fight the
So
power.
kudos to Evanston for at least passing
Yeah,
whatever it
doing
was that they
something.
passed.
Yeah, it's not a perfect program, but it's a step forward. So definitely kudos to them. I'm surprised it passed, honestly.
What state was it that a couple weeks ago wouldn't eliminate slavery being legal?
What?
Oh, I don't know. I don't be watching the news because it's depressing.
There's one state in the union left where technically slavery is still legal, and they voted on it a
Okay,
couple weeks ago and went, "No, we're not taking that away." I forgot what state it was.
I'm gonna guess Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee,
I think it was
Kentucky.
Kentucky, somewhere in that area. Hold on.
Yeah. Gonna be one of the usual suspects, of course.
Yeah, we still doing that in 2021.
Slavery is still constitutionally legal in the US.
Welcome to America,
Okay.
folks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get me a white slave.
That would be America spelled with three K's.
It's
Now I'm
Kentucky.
googling where I can go get a slave. Yeah, it was Kentucky. Okay.
Yeah, this is not stunning.
Oh yeah.
That just made me really angry.
Why?
I'm not surprised that it was still a law. I'm just surprised they voted on it recently. It was still like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah, no, that doesn't stun me at all.
Expect this out of Alabama.
I don't know what you think Kentucky is.
Same difference. I'm an East
You
Coast dude.
know?
That whole area just the South.
Yeah, pretty much. So, anyway, what I wanted to talk about, I know you guys do not watch Married at First
Get up on the mic, baby.
Sight. Anyway,
Mm-mm.
he doesn't mean that.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. What's so funny?
Nothing.
Oh. So I know you guys don't watch Married at First Sight, but I'm going to reference it for context.
Okay.
There's a couple on there. It's not relevant to this discussion, but she's a white girl. He's a black dude. Well, his mom is black. So he's,
That counts.
he's not fully African American because I don't think that they're ready for that on this show just yet. So they got married at first sight. They were strangers. And where the show stands now, they are, I want to say, 5 or 6 weeks into the marriage. And she is sexually frustrated because he will not have sex with her. Which begs the question, how long are you willing to wait on your sexual gratification?
You know I've been married, right?
They're newlyweds.
I'm not fully understanding the premise of a show. They just pick two random people and go, bong, y'all married?
No. People apply to be on the show and they get interviewed by the so called experts. I say so called because sometimes these people that they pick, I'm like, why?
Entertainment value.
Probably.
Everyone
They
loves a
have
train wreck.
experts that evaluate like all of the people who
Compatibility.
apply. Yeah, and then they go through and they try to match people on the basis of compatibility. And so they usually have 5 per season. But you don't know who you matched with until your wedding day. And that's the first time you meet them.
Okay. I get it now. America just has no respect for the sanctity of marriage.
I don't know
In
that
a new
that's true. I
relationship,
mean, it's not any
shit.
different than any other arranged marriage, but in a new relationship, correct. How long?
I'll tell chicks from the jump, if I'm not fucking at least twice a week, I'm looking.
Okay.
How long does it take you to feel that way?
That's from the door.
You sounded so disgusted.
I probably am. All right,
Okay.
let's turn me into the fucking perv. We've discussed this before. I'm an advocate of fuck people as soon as you know you like them. What the fuck are we bullshitting for? We're grown.
Okay. A star, how long? And then I'm going to add a little more context and see if it makes a difference. But go ahead.
If this is somebody that I want to be with, I don't
Yes.
necessarily subscribe to we hopping into the sack right away because
Okay.
I kind of want to get to know the person that I'm actually swapping bodily fluids with.
Now, that is an interesting point that you bring up because
Okay.
they didn't meet until the day they got married. So they've only known each
Yeah,
other
there might not
for
be no
five,
fucking
6 weeks.
attraction.
No, there's definitely attraction. But he doesn't want to have sex with her until he says that the love is there.
Did he know what show he signed up for?
He's trying to drag conventional thinking or whatever into a situation that is definitely not conventional.
He's supposedly a religious guy. So he doesn't feel like he should have sex with her until he loves her. Now, on the flip side, she is not religious. And her thing is
Let's get it.
Great
not just
matchmaking.
that, but to him, he doesn't want to have physical intimacy until there's emotional intimacy. He wants to build the emotional intimacy
Yes.
first and go on into the physical intimacy. With her, she feels like she can't get to the emotional intimacy that he's looking for until there's physical intimacy. To her, the physical intimacy is a critical step on the path to that deep emotional intimacy.
I hear you.
Have y'all listened to Jasmine Sullivan's Hotels album?
Mm,
No.
I have.
There's a skit on there where the chick is like, I know I'm not as fly as these Instagram chicks, and I know that's what he's looking at and that's what he's desiring, but sex is my superpower. I know I could use that to make him like me more than the rest of these chicks. And I think that's the same thing that's happening here with the chick. Like, okay, you might not like me as much as I want you to, but I
But
can
once
fuck
I
you into
lay it
liking
on
me
your
more.
ass, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's it with her because they seem to get along very well otherwise. And here's a point that she's made time and time again. So I'm on her side because she's like, we do everything but the act of intercourse.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. Dudes whacking bait.
Maybe, but how will she ever know that?
The problem is he knows that.
And that's possibly it. But he's couching it in, I'm religious, and so we can't have sex until I feel this intimacy with you. Here's why I call bullshit on him. Because he is
The
claiming that he
fucking
doesn't want
show.
to have sex with her because of his religion, but he's willing to do everything but intercourse. So technically, he's still having sex with her on some level.
Eating ain't cheating, sucking ain't fucking.
By definition, it is sex, is it not?
Nah, really.
Mm,
Dude's full of shit because, oh, this is against my religion or whatever the fuck. Like, nigga, you got married on a fucking show to somebody you don't know. Don't play that religious card.
But yeah, dude, full of shit.
yeah, sounds like he is.
So, under those circumstances, how long would you put up with that shit before you were like, I'm not doing this no more?
Under fake marriage?
It's not a fake marriage, it's actually a real marriage.
Fake intent, I guess, would be the point. But as long as the TV contract lasted,
Yeah.
Can you say annulment?
Well, the
Like,
thing is that after, I don't know, I think 8 weeks or 10 weeks of marriage, they get together and decide whether they're going to get divorced or stay married. So,
if we haven't consummated the marriage by then, dude, what are you hiding? Especially if we're doing other stuff. Yeah,
right.
like what's the issue?
he's playing the hand he's been dealt.
Now, see, me, I'm like, look, I don't know if I'm lasting 10 weeks under those circumstances. And she seems like she's incredibly frustrated. If I was as frustrated as she is, I would be like, okay, well, you know what? We just won't be doing shit then. Don't come to me with that bullshit because we just won't be doing shit. We'll both be frustrated up in this piece.
And I'll collect my check.
And then we'll
And
collect
at the
our
end of it,
checks
I'll
and
move on.
bounce. Yes.
Fight fire with
Yeah.
fire.
Well, I don't know that it's even
Yeah.
fighting fire with fire. It's just that it's only so much that I'm going to put up with and then I'm done.
Over it.
Yeah, exactly. And she seems like she's right about at that point. I was just wondering how y'all would feel under those circumstances because I'm the one that's sitting here yelling at the TV like, oh, girl, get out.
I would just never do anything like that.
Word.
That whole concept is just so asinine to
Oh,
me.
married at
Like,
first sight? It's not that asinine to me. Maybe because I have known people who have been in arranged marriages before.
of course you do.
It's perfectly acceptable in some cultures.
I get it, but
Won't be me.
I knew a lady that was in an arranged marriage and she had been in that marriage for 12 years. She loved her husband, but she said she had to grow to love him because they didn't really know each other. I will say she did get to meet him before she married him, but she said he came to the house, they sat on the couch and talked to each other, and then they set a date because their parents had arranged their marriage. So
I be on some old coming to America stuff. You arranging my marriage, I'm going to find my own before any of this happens.
I guess a cultural thing, but she lucked up and he wasn't a fucking maniac and not that
Coming to America was cultural.
she learned to love him and she said he was a good husband and a good father, which is more than I can
Good.
say for a lot of people that pick their own husbands. So
Man, I was gonna say that too.
I don't look down on arranged marriages. Don't know that I could be in one because you may not know this about me, but I'm kind of a control freak. So I don't.
Word.
What?
Yeah, so I don't know that I could be in one,
I'm
but I
shocked.
don't think of them as lesser in that way,
I'm shocked.
as you should be. Yeah,
All right. Can I go hug my kids now?
yeah. You can
Aww.
go hug your kids, and I'll go arrange our marriage. He ignored me.
What?
Nothing. Anyway, go ahead and take us out then.
All right, listeners, if you like the show, tell a friend, tell a foe, tell a hoe. And if you hate it, tell everybody you know. It's the Threesome Podcast on Instagram and the Threesome Pod on Twitter. Neither of which I will see because I'm off that bullshit for this month. But leave messages, retweet, show titties, Storm will see them. Whip dicks out if you need to. I ain't going to be there.
Yeah, I don't want to see no titties.
Just forward them to me.
Sure,
We peoples.
I guess.
Star, anything you want?
You can send dick pics for entertainment value.
Sure.
Why not?
Yeah, we'll even rate them. There you go. Send them in. We'll
For
rate them
free.
for free.
What other podcast is doing that, people?
We're here for
We are
you.
here for the people.
Yeah, I'm not participating in dick ratings, but I will thoroughly enjoy all titties.
But I don't think he meant it that way, y'all. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
we're out.
Yeah, probably did. Yeah. Good night.
Peace.
Peace.